Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Manolo, aka the Abundant Alchemist, holding it down for Enrique and Yo Knows. Today is April 30th, 2022, my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I do this because I enjoy it. Please like, share, and hit the subscribe button. We have a very interesting episode today titled People Do Not Know What's Coming. I've watched two interviews in particular that I believe everyone should watch and be aware of, but I've dissected them so that you don't necessarily have to. The first interview is by Tom BelI, and he has as a guest Ray Dalio, ex hedge fund manager, a very informed man who has studied the cycles historically, and he has connected many dots on where we currently are now. So I advise you to first check that out. It is titled People Don't Know What's Coming. Ray Dalio interviewed by Tom BelI on Tom BelI's channel. Last name BilEYeu. The second interview that I implore you to check out is the Raul Paul interview talk on global recession, what you need to know. So let's start off first by taking a look at legacy markets, the S&P 500, because as you may well be aware of, they impact the crypto markets. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. The screen here. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. The reason why this is important is because on Friday, and I'm looking at the monthly chart, you could tell that I'm kind of stepping back and looking at the bigger picture to see where we may be heading. This is what's happened this month so far. I believe this is a bearish sign for the legacy markets. The next level of support that we have is way down here at about 3,300. Then after that, the next level that we have of support is roughly at 3,000. So I believe we will be headed down. Hold on one second. Have to lock this door. And naturally, Bitcoin will follow suit. We see currently Bitcoin is at 38,589 on Coinbase, with some support at 35,700. The next level down would be roughly, I would say 20,000, but I don't think we're necessarily going to get down to that level. I think we will revisit 35,000. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Personally, I have my eye first on a couple of sectors before crypto, but there are a couple of crypto altcoins that I have my eye on that are near value entry points you may want to look into and consider. Before I get into the sectors I am particularly interested in and coins that I am interested in, let's get into some news. The first piece of news I'd like to share with you is Goldman Sachs. And in this story, Goldman Sachs offers the first Bitcoin-backed loan, as well as Wall Street embraces crypto. This is pretty big because there's going to be a lot of interest segueing through the vehicle of Goldman Sachs into the crypto space, into Bitcoin in particular. Goldman Sachs offering a Bitcoin-backed loan shows the faith in this value holding vehicle of Bitcoin, this asset. And that's pretty much what we need for mainstream adoption. We need faith to build. So this is huge news. As faith in fiat currency wanes and grows weaker, faith in crypto, Bitcoin in particular, is growing. A spokeswoman from Goldman told Bloomberg that the multinational investment bank had lent cash collateralized by Bitcoin owned by the borrower for the first time in Goldman Sachs history. She added that the deal was particularly interesting because of its structure and 24-hour risk management. So let's look at this in a different way. What Goldman Sachs is saying is, we will risk the dollars we are lending you if you give us the opportunity, if you default on a loan, to take possession of your Bitcoin in exchange for the dollars that we are risking losing by lending them to you. Think about that and what that means. Before I move on to the next one, there is another country that has adopted Bitcoin as their currency. And it is in Africa. I believe it is the central, I don't know the exact name. It's a central country in Africa. So now we're seeing El Salvador, we're seeing a small island, and we're seeing a country in Africa adopt Bitcoin as their national currency. Next story is quite funny. Pitchfork saying that crypto is the most uncool thing you could possibly rap about. And I just wanted to mention this because it's quite funny, me as a hip hop head, to see this be stated. Obviously, rap is a lot about braggadocio, and historically, rappers rap about money. As the dollar weakens, I believe there's going to be less talk of cash, more talk of crypto assets, including NFTs. And Alphonse Pierre, if you're watching this, which I doubt you will, Pitchfork, you are hugely mistaken. If you want to listen, if you want to check out this article, read it. I haven't even read it thoroughly. I just came across it and thought it was funny and worth mentioning. Crypto rap needs to be stopped, he says. Interesting. Next article is by Barron's. Bitcoin prices slip. The crypto market awaits next week Fed meeting. So this is something for us to keep on top of. Next week's Fed meeting obviously will impact the markets greatly. Many are awaiting a bump in interest rates. which may affect further now that we've lost support on the S&P 500. Maybe the nudge that it surely does not need, but will affect it further to go down. And this honestly is quite exciting for me, because I think this is where opportunity lies. Of course, if you are heavily invested at the moment and your 401k, your retirement depends on the markets, it's not as exciting, and it's actually quite maybe quite an anxiety-ridden moment for you. Not financial advice, anything that I'm saying here. I would advise to, since we've had such a great run up, look at more secure assets that people like Ray Dalio, like Rob Paul are looking at and mentioning. I would say it's an excellent time to get into gold and silver as a hedge of choice. My hedge of choice, in particular at the moment, is silver. It's my favorite asset at the moment. Also, the energy sectors. I think uranium has a long way to move up and a lot of potential. If you want to play it safe, please look into the URA uranium ETF. I would say also look into REITs, which are real estate investment vehicles that kind of work like ETFs, getting a little bit of everything within a certain given sector. I am looking at Pine, which is an ETF that has industry leading tenants with top tenants such as Wells Fargo, Dollar General, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, Walgreens, Lowe's. That is Pine, P-I-N-E. REIT, also UBA, which is a necessity-based retail real estate REIT, which has locations in highest paid locales around the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Also STAG, which is an industrial real estate REIT. I also like VPN REIT, based off of data centers. Very bullish on tech and real estate, so that's a nice blend. Again, energy, the uranium ETF. I am big. You should take a look at royalty ETFs for sectors such as uranium. UROY is the ticker. Within energy, I like XLE, which is the Spider Oil and Gas ETF. Before I move on to tech and crypto, I would say junior gold miners in particular, junior miners have a lot of potential. Ticker GDXJ for junior. And PDBC, if you like commodities as a whole, it's actively managed. Look into that. Now, one thing that I haven't particularly been bullish on has been bonds. I've since pivoted because of the fact that the dollar is gaining strength and other fiat currencies are falling in strength due to that. I think it is worth looking into I-bonds, which may be a good play in the short to intermediate time frame with a 9% return on investment. As inflation is reported at 8.5, it may be a good place to put a little bit of liquidity for when markets fall, to take that money and have some money on the side ready to be deployed when opportunity strikes. So now we have to understand that as imports will seem cheap, as the US economy gets stronger, this will eventually hurt the US, as we will be providing less exports because they'll be way more expensive to other countries. And ultimately, although imports will be cheaper, our power to provide more value to exterior countries and capitalize off of that value will wane, because our goods will be a lot more expensive to them. So it does matter that these countries are losing the ability to maintain their standard of living. And that's pretty much what's happening. That is the cost of the US keeping its people above water. What's currently being sacrificed is the standard of living of all other countries, because the US fiat dollar is at the moment, dollar that has been considered the strong leading currency that energy is trading with, for petroleum in particular. This is changing. So if the dollar maintains the strength, emerging markets that I'll be paying attention to, much like Raul Paul, will be India, which has long-term potential, as a lot of young people in their 20s are in the workforce and are looking to save in that India system for retirement. I'm watching China. There's a ETF, KWEB, which is a China internet ETF that is appealing to me right now at these levels, low levels where it's at. And they may fall a little more. I'll also watch Brazil. Now, one interesting thing that was brought to my attention watching the Raul Paul interview was where, we're familiar with KYC, know your customer, which is required of us in order to participate in the markets by these financial institutions, banks. They want your social, they want your identity to ensure that you're not laundering money. As supply chain becomes dependent with the world globalization structure that's being implemented, it's going to become more and more important to know your supplier and where the supplies needed to run your business that is reliant upon external conditions. That's going to become more and more important. So we may end up seeing KYS, know your supplier. Now, getting back to the good stuff, crypto. I think we may see a downtick. I follow Cameron Foose. He's predicting XRP heading to 30 cents. May or may not happen. Would be exciting to buy at those levels. 4 ETFs of the crypto space that I'm interested in: BLCN for blockchain technology. If you're interested in just having most of your investment in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then 8 altcoins. So 90% Bitcoin, Ethereum, the remaining 10% shared among 8 top altcoins, BITW. If you're interested in investing in companies that are heavily invested in Bitcoin, such as MicroStrategy's, Coinbase, Tesla, VBN. If you are interested in the crypto mining space and these companies that produce microchips such as NVIDIA, AMD, I would look into LEGR. Now, I'm going to give you a list of 11 coin picks that I've narrowed down that I think may hit very value low prices that can set you up nicely for the long term. Not financial advice. This is just what I'm looking at. Do your own research. Engine, Uniswap, so ENJ, UNI, Gala, Dodo, Gods, Quant, QNT, Digibyte, DGB, AMP, AMP, Cetify, Cardano, ADA, ADA. These will be at value low prices compared to their all-time highs historically. And I think they have a lot of potential to break past those all-time highs in time. Don't know in how long. I would give it 2 to 5 years. What I am seeing that's very interesting is, in the security sector, Monero. XMR. Now let's take a look at the XMR chart before I wrap it up here. Monero XMR is looking a little bullish here. If we break through this 230, 250 level, I think we could be off to the races to at least about $400. I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm getting a green dot here. We're above the 50 RSI mark on the monthly, and it looks like we're going to get a bullish cross here on the MACD. Something to keep an eye on. In the current state of bearishness sentiment that I see in both legacy and the crypto markets, I think that privacy is becoming more and more of a necessity, and Monero is looking quite like it could take the lead in bullish sentiment in a world that will momentarily crumble. That's the last thing I'll leave with you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Leave a question for us. And we hope to see you soon. Let me roll it out if I can find the outro for you guys. All right. I think I am just going to